Right now, something big is happening behind the scenes of the electric vehicle industry, and most people have no idea. While everyone is busy talking about lithium, charging stations, and self-driving cars, EV makers are quietly scrambling for one metal that could decide who wins and who disappears. This is not hype. This is not theory. This is silver. And if you stay with me for the next few minutes, you'll understand why silver is becoming the hidden pressure point of next-gen batteries, why EV manufacturers are getting nervous, and why this story could change how you see both electric cars and the silver market forever. Think about this for a second. Electric vehicles are supposed to represent the future. Clean energy, advanced technology, and massive government support. But what happens when the future depends on a metal that is already under supply stress, already heavily industrialized, and already controlled by forces most people never talk about? That's exactly where silver comes in, and once you see the full picture, it's hard to unsee it. Before we go deeper, if you care about understanding money, metals, and the real forces shaping the global economy, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel right now. It helps this content reach more people. And here on Wealth Wave, we break down complex financial stories in a way that actually makes sense. Now, let's get back to why EV makers are starting to panic. Silver is not just a shiny metal sitting in vaults. It is one of the most electrically conductive materials on Earth. That single fact is what makes silver so critical to modern technology. Every electric vehicle uses silver in multiple systems, from power electronics to battery management systems, inverters, charging components, and advanced safety controls. As EVs become more powerful, more efficient, and more connected, the amount of silver required per vehicle quietly increases. Now here's where things get interesting. Next-generation battery technology is pushing silver demand even further. Solid-state batteries, advanced lithium silver oxide designs, high-efficiency thermal controls, and ultra-fast charging systems all rely on silver's conductivity and stability. Engineers don't use silver because it's pretty. They use it because there are very few materials that can do what silver does at the same level. At the same time, EV makers are under extreme pressure. Governments want faster adoption. Consumers want cheaper prices. Competition is brutal. Margins are thin. And yet the materials needed to build these vehicles are getting harder to secure. Lithium shortages make headlines, but silver shortages are quieter, more dangerous, and harder to replace. Unlike lithium, silver is not mined mainly for batteries or EVs. Most silver is a byproduct of mining for other metals like copper, zinc, and lead. That means silver supply cannot be quickly ramped up just because demand spikes. You can't simply open a silver mine overnight to solve the problem. Supply is slow, complex, and already stretched thin. Now imagine being an EV manufacturer planning production 5 or 10 years ahead. You know demand for electric vehicles is exploding. You know next-gen batteries require more silver, not less. And you also know that silver inventories around the world are shrinking. That's a recipe for stress, and that stress is already showing. Some EV companies are quietly signing long-term supply agreements. Others are investing in recycling technology to recover silver from old electronics and batteries. And some are even redesigning components to reduce silver usage. But there's a limit to how much you can cut before performance and safety suffer. This is where the story becomes bigger than just cars. Silver is used everywhere. Solar panels rely heavily on silver. Medical technology uses silver. Data centers, AI hardware, military systems, and consumer electronics all compete for the same metal. EVs are not entering an empty market. They are entering a battlefield. Global silver inventories have been declining for years. Industrial demand keeps setting new records. At the same time, investment demand comes and goes depending on fear, inflation, and monetary policy. When these forces collide, something has to give. And EV makers are starting to realize they are not in control of this equation. China plays a major role here. It dominates EV manufacturing, battery production, and solar panel output. It also consumes massive amounts of silver. When Chinese demand rises, global supply tightens. When Chinese manufacturers stockpile, prices react. This creates another layer of uncertainty for Western automakers trying to compete in the EV race. Now think about this from a strategic perspective. Governments are pushing electric vehicles as part of national energy transitions. Militaries rely on advanced electronics powered by silver. Critical infrastructure depends on stable electrical systems. Silver is no longer just an industrial input. It's becoming a strategic resource. This is why some analysts believe silver is undervalued relative to its importance. While gold gets the spotlight as a store of value, silver quietly does the work. It moves electrons. It enables technology. And without it, many modern systems simply don't function. EV makers know this. That's why they are scrambling. Not publicly, not loudly, but behind closed doors. They are running scenarios, locking in contracts, and preparing for a future where silver availability could determine production capacity. Now let's talk about batteries specifically. Next-gen batteries are designed to charge faster, last longer, and operate more safely. Faster charging means higher electrical loads. Higher loads mean better conductivity is required. Silver handles this better than most alternatives. That's why it keeps showing up in advanced designs. Some researchers are experimenting with substitutes, but none match silver's efficiency without trade-offs. Cheaper materials lead to more heat, more energy loss, and higher failure risk. In an EV, those risks are unacceptable. Safety recalls are expensive. Reputation damage is worse. So EV makers face a difficult choice. Absorb higher silver costs and protect performance, or cut corners and risk long-term consequences. Neither option is comfortable. This tension is exactly what creates powerful trends in markets. When a critical material becomes both essential and constrained, its value tends to change over time. Not overnight, not in a straight line, but structurally. For viewers of Wealth Wave, this is not about hype or price predictions. It's about understanding why certain pressures exist and how they build quietly before becoming obvious to everyone else. As EV adoption accelerates, silver demand doesn't just rise. It compounds. Each new generation of vehicles adds complexity, electronics, and power requirements. At the same time, mining supply remains limited and slow to respond. And remember, silver is consumed. Much of it is used in ways that are difficult or expensive to recycle. That means supply is permanently reduced over time unless mining increases significantly, which brings its own challenges. Now here's something most people don't think about. If silver prices rise too fast, EV affordability becomes an issue. Governments can subsidize vehicles, but subsidies don't create silver. They just shift costs. At some point, reality catches up. This is why silver sits at a strange intersection between technology, energy, finance, and geopolitics. It's not just a metal. It's a bottleneck. As we move deeper into the electric future, these bottlenecks matter more. They decide which companies survive, which technologies dominate, and which countries gain leverage. So when you hear about EV makers expanding factories, launching new models, and promising faster charging, remember this invisible layer beneath the headlines. Remember the silver running through every circuit, every battery system, every power module. If this perspective helped you see the EV story differently, let me know in the comments. Do you think silver shortages could slow down EV adoption, or will technology find a way around it? Share your thoughts, because discussion is what drives better understanding. And if you found value in this breakdown, share this video with someone who thinks EVs are only about lithium and batteries. This story goes much deeper. Thanks for watching Wealth Wave. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.